here we are then. We are live. I'm joined by Ash again.
Hello. I'm not leading this week, so I'm happy.
Yeah. So yeah, we're back live again for the 5th round of the Group 2 stream of the Group 2 season, and we are here at the Red Bull Ring in Styria, Austria. So it should be good.
And this week it will be even better because it's raining.
Yes. I don't know how I didn't mention that, but yeah, so it is also a wet race today, so this will be very entertaining because the rain on this game isn't exactly the best. So we will see how they get on with this one then. Some people will have practiced for rain. I think they only found out it was raining a few hours ago, so we'll see how levels of practice they've done. And this throws the race up into anyone. Anyone can win, really. This could be exciting, and I think it's going to be very unpredictable as well, because there's going to be a lot of people going off. Although at the moment, Tay's looking one of the quicker drivers in the rain at the moment. He did set the fastest time in the practice before the practice starts, so he's always going to be one to watch out for. And I think the Spa D1 race, or the Spa race in Group 3 was in the rain, and he won that quite comprehensively, if I remember rightly.
He did. It was actually quite a good... he was sliding the car everywhere that day, and it was that was just a mastery in car control.
And then again, he slides the car every day in the dry as well, so it's not really too different. So yeah, Simon Ford says, "Shut up, Ash." So
is that Smalley?
No, Simon Fuller.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about Fuller. He's so small he cannot make himself heard at times.
Yeah, so give about 5 minutes and then the real start will go underway. So we'll have obviously the usual 10-minute qualifying, and then the race, which has been reduced from 28 laps, I believe it was, to only the 22 at the moment. I think it's 22, 23. As Tay's gone straight on at the third corner, or fourth corner, sorry, turn 4. Fred Proctor says Smalley. There we go. So Robert started the qualifying, which means we will of course have the first 10 minutes of qualifying, and this is going to be a very interesting race.
Also, just before quali starts, I just want to say happy birthday to Astro and also Lord Orford River of Birmingham.
Ah, yes.
He got some lovely presents this week, did Lord Orford. He got some money for his rig, and also I believe he got him some sweets as well. Which sounds quite nice. He did, yeah, but they're all from random people as well, which was even better.
Has he still not figured out who we got the was he the vegan cat sweets or whatever they were that you got last week?
It was Grim, because Grim hates cats.
Right, yeah. And he's not here to defend himself this time.
Exactly.
Anyway, so back to the race. Qualifying's begun. It is Race 2 who's leading us away. Now, typically for this track, I'd have thought this would be a circuit you'd want the slipstream for, because there's quite some long straights on this circuit and you can gain the time in that. However, with it being wet, is being behind another car, is it quite the sort of thing you want around here still, or...?
No.
Tay actually backs out there, so it's Lord Robot first.
I would say if I was any of these drivers, I would have waited until they're at least halfway around the track and then gone out in the pit lane. And then you've got the whole track to yourself.
Oh, Smalley is in the chat.
As Jax rubs the gravel.
Yep. So then, Robot, who Tay's, I think, backed out of it, so he's allowing some of the other drivers to go through. So another thing, because not only is he following another car, but it's also, you've got the spray to contend with, and the possibility that it might spin around in front of you. And the last thing you want is for a driver to spin around and then end up getting caught off in their instant. So that's not really the sort of thing you want. So Robot then starts the first flying lap of qualifying. Hard on the brakes. It's going to be very difficult to spot the break point, and he's not quite done it right because he's just glided straight across the track at turn 1. Seems to be struggling with the throttle and he's had a massive spin. Coming onto the straight, he has avoided super bouncy, but that has gone off for Robot, and that's already his lap ruined. So we'll see what super bouncy can do.
There's been a good luck message and it's from Iceman Kimmy.
Ah, yes.
One of the nicest people I've ever met.
Yes. So then, we'll see how Super Bounty can do. He didn't go off at the first corner like Robot, so he's so far so good. But the heavy braking zones is going to be very challenging to spot your brains on in the dry, let alone in the rain. Bounty gets very slidey in that rear of the car, manages still to point it in the right direction, which is always a good start. And to be honest, I think the pole time will just be the driver that can keep the car pointing in the right direction for the longest period of time. Super Bounty gets a massive slide on there, but hold it.
Robot's gone off as well. Oh, this could be this literally could be a grid shake-up.
Yep, Super Bounty had a massive slide coming out of turn 6, but he didn't have a spin, so he's so far so good. He had to turn 9 and then in toward the final corner and right out onto that curb, so quite aggressive use as well onto turn 10, runs wide on the other side of the curb there, and he comes up to line. Will that penalise him though? That's the question. Nope, and it's a 34.9 that they're all chasing. Havoc has got a penalty and he's now going close. Havoc's had to back off just before the line to take us. Quick is still with a 33.2 as they're all coming across the line very quickly now, so we'll just lie down. Astro has just crossed the line, as has Martin. Grim has also crossed the line as well. Marco next to cross the line is in 10th, then we've got Tracy.
Who could be a little bit handy in this, Grim. He was showing very, very good car control before I was watching him in the wet. So this could be his sort of day. Plus, I remember when we raced at Spa last season, he was actually very, very good in the wet. In fact, I remember he didn't make a pit stop. So he could be a bit of one to watch for this race.
There is still quite a gaggle of cars moving around the place. We've got the likes of Sean, I think that's Havoc in there as well. Pharaoh Thomas, he's just in behind them. So quite a grouping of cars around the track. So they're clearly wanting to try and stay relatively close as Havoc gets a big spin. Havoc almost spins, just about keeps that pointing in the right way. But at the moment it is Rest here on the provisional pole. Let's see what he's going to improve on his lap to secure his pole position. Round turn 9 into the penultimate corner. It's looking onto the penultimate corner. It's looking good. Then right onto the curve. He heads across onto turn 10. Doesn't run too far wide, which is good as he comes up toward the line now and across the line. Does he improve his time? Yes, he does, and he's now got a second clear of AJ. What can AJ do in response?
Sean gets a bit closer as well. He's a little bit off AJ.
We'll see though. What is AJ doing as AJ comes up towards the line? I don't think it's actually not a good lap at all. He's must have had some sort of problem there, yeah. There is still this collection of cars as Grim and Martin are quite close to each other. In fact, I think that's Astro just a little bit up the road. So the Ron Pollock's drivers wanting seemingly to stay together at the moment.
It's a Ron Pollock centipede.
I believe Rodden Puck's had a decent run last time out in Autopolis. Astro managed to pick up the podium, but I think he was saying that he's not looking likely he's going to get the podium this week. But then again, he also said that about Autopolis, so we'll see.
I think the thing is as well, this is going to be one of them races where literally it's going to be down to who can stay out of trouble the most. So literally, I think if you can stay on track the longest, you'll get the better result.
Interesting.
There'll be a lot of people making mistakes today.
Havoc's quite far down the order. We've seen this season repeatedly. Havoc picked up a couple of podiums. Has usually been up toward the front, but at the moment he's sat down in 9th. We'll see if he continues the lap. There is someone in the pits. It's a Super Bounty that has opted to go into the pits. But the majority of them are just staying out and doing lap after lap. I think they're just trying to adapt to the conditions. Sean actually gets between AJ and 10. In fact, Havoc, there we go, gets up into 4th place and not far off of AJ, who is purple in the middle sector, right up behind Grim. He's going to get a bit of slipstream, but is this going to be enough for AJ to take pole? No, not quite, but he's gotten even closer still to Tay. So where's Tay on his lap? Tay's just coming up to the first sector split now. Is he up? No, he's just second down, so he's gone somewhere wrong for the first corner, and I think he's gone in a bit too Not quite the braking zone he wanted into turn 3, so Resta struggling a bit as Robot makes an improvement up into 6th.
That's a good time. That's a very good time.
Bounty's had a big off on the exit of turn 3. That looks as though he's just spun it up on the throttle and has buried it in the wall, which I think we could see a lot of those mistakes happening in the race.
The real Tracy just struggling a little bit to get a little bit of consistency going, but it'll come.
He's slowly improving on his times. He's not far off of Marco at the back, so he's slowly improving, but I don't think it's quite the position he wanted to be in. He's had a good run of races at the moment as Tracy, though.
Jax has just made a mistake coming out of turn 3.
Ooh. That's another one that's made a bit of an error then. And Reza Tay has come into the pits, but I don't know if Tay's going to get round to make another lap. I mean, quite close. In fact, Sean's right on the back of AJ.
He'll get one more lap in.
It's been quite tight though. He's going to have to not spin around on this outlap. Going to be close for Tay if he can make it though, but we'll see how he does. I think he's trying to burn off a bit of fuel as well, because he's really revving out the engine as he's going up through the gears, so keep an eye on Tay if he's going to be able to make another lap. I think he probably will, but it's going to be relatively tight. What about Tracy? What's Tracy doing? Is he coming up to the final corner now? He's up in sector 2. Is he going to be able to improve his position? He does run wide out the final corner and across the line. He does improve, and he goes up in a 7th, and only just by 6,000 close super bound to himself. He's only 600 ahead of Astro, who even then is less than a 10th ahead of Grim. So they're all very close in that mid pack.
This is quite a short lap, so everyone is going to be closer together, and the drive will be even closer. Meanwhile, Ferrers he's gone half a second blue in the middle sector.
Half a second, that could get him close onto the second row then.
Yeah, so he could potentially go ahead of Havoc here.
He could indeed. Just keep an eye on Thomas. I think he got a bit wobbly on the exit at turn 9. We'll see if he comes down onto the final corner. It's looking relatively strong, kept it heading forward as Havoc actually improves his time ever so slightly, but Thomas does improve even further and gets himself onto the second row of the grid there.
It's a good effort. That's a good effort.
And Resta has just got a lap in there. He managed to just get across in time to get the laps. We'll have the final lap of sessions over. So AJ, I think, improved his time. So that is AJ's attempt at pole. So that's not going to be enough. Sean is, I think, Sean's still going on the lap. So Sean might still possibly get pole. But I think Grim's finished as well now. Robot's finished.
Top 6.
Yeah. I think Robot's finished. And Tracy's coming into the pits. That's Tracy's qualifying over. Bounty's finished. Astro's done. Martin's still going. Marco isn't. Rubs is coming around the final corner now, so we'll see can Rubs elevate himself off the back of the grid. He's very close onto the back of Marco, so every improvement could get him further up now as he's charging up toward the line. Is this going to be enough for Rubs to elevate off the back? Yes, it does, and that puts Marco, who has finished his run. So Marco is starting at the back of the field. Sean is there, rest.
It's only
it's Sean, Tay and Martin that are left on the lap, I think.
Yeah, I'm just busy watching Tay now. Come towards the end of the lap, he's just heading up towards turn 9.
Oh, Sean got a bit wobbly coming out of the final corner. We'll see if that's held him up too much, and I don't think he has improved, so he's not. What about Reza Tay coming up to the final corner now? And so it looks like Resdale has taken pole position because he's the last one to set a lap there, and I think actually no, it's just
he didn't improve.
He did not improve. Martin crosses the line. Martin does improve and gets himself up into the top 7th in the end. So there we have it. Resdale on the pole position again with AJ on the front row, and I think that was the same front row last time, or at some point it's been them two on the front row. I'm sure it has. Was it Spa?
Might have been, yeah.
Because I definitely seem to remember a Tay AJ front row before this season.
I'm fairly sure that was Spa.
Anyway, Here we are then for the start. Obviously with no traction in this Group 2 division, I believe. That's going to make it really interesting for the start. We'll see who's the master of the throttle control as they launch off the line. So this is going to be a very interesting start, and away they go. Tay looks to have had a very good start. AJ's bogged down a lot of. Sean's managed to pull away as well, but everyone's still facing the right way. But Tay's had a rocket of a start as they head up into the first corner now. AJ's dropped back all the way down to 4th, but he's going to try and hold it on the outside of Thomas there. And so Thomas has almost got ahead of AJ.
Oh, I thought I was going to be an incident there between the real Tracy and Robot, but they've got away with it. Otherwise, everyone has got out of the first corner.
And Sean's trying to go around the outside. Sean tries to cut back on Resite there. There was a little bit of contact, but it looks like Sean now tries to pull himself alongside. He's in the slipstream of Resite. I think, is he going to be able to pull him down the inside into turn 4? Everyone's so far so clean as everyone's still going. Now is Sean going to be able to go for it down the inside into turn 4 and the braking? Yes, he does. Almost put his nose in there. Tay comes across. Probably not expecting that. Now AJ is going to try to drive his way around. AJ is going to try to drive his way around.
Meanwhile, there was a slide down the inside with 3 wide going into 4. It looked like, I think it may have been Marco that got 2 wheels on the grass there in the wet.
It did look like Marco was going a little bit slidey there. I think Astra at the moment as Havoc getting very squirrely trying to find his way to Tracy. He's had a great start considering Tracy. He was toward the back. He's done well so far to hold 7th, but Havoc's dropped back a bit as well.
Yeah, also just a big shout out as well to Martin and Grimm as well, sitting 5th and 6th. After the start, they've had a good start, and like I said, I feel like Grimm's a little bit of an expert when it comes to wet weather driving.
Tracy, I think, almost had a bit of a wobble there, but Havoc's managed to get himself ahead out the final corner, so Havoc moves up into 7th place ahead of Tracy. Tracy's going to try and fight back down the inside into turn 1. Yes, he does, and he's gone in too deep. Tracy's gone in too deep, and he's gone off wide. And here comes Robert going to try and find a way past, and Tracy's had a spin. And there we have it, the first spinner we caught live on camera, and it was the real Tracy who spins round. I think he's just gone too heavy on the throttle trying to correct after going deep.
Meanwhile, AJ ran wide out of turn 1, tried to put his foot on the power, and the car went absolutely sideways. He caught it, but it's now allowed Ferraz into 3rd.
So meanwhile, there's Sean, who's all over the back of Red Test. Sean's having a very good run at the moment. He won the endurance race at Le Mans, and I think he won the Autopolis race last week, so he's having a very good run, and we'll see if he can continue this race winning run.
Yeah, his car on Wednesday night was absolutely crazy. It was fast as anything in the straight line, but in the corners it was slow as. But it won in the race.
Bouncy, big wobble. These drivers are pushing everything here, and they're very much throwing it all on the line because you can just see them just fighting the cars.
Meanwhile, there's a bit of a queue starting to develop behind Martin here. You've got Havoc, you've got
Havoc's trying around the outside of turn 9, and he's still there. It's going around the outside at turn 10, but that's not a place you want to be. And Martin just shows in the door. I think that was very close, and actually Super Bounty might have the run on the back of Robot. So that run onto the straight, because Havoc tried to get ahead of Martin and couldn't. That's cost his run now, as his teammate Robot's going to try and get down the inside. He's not quite close enough there, and he's Bounty going to be able to close up to get around the outside, and they're all very close to each other. Robot pulls off the track, and he's actually very nearly touched the grass. He was nearly round then with Robert, but he has lost the position to Super Bounty in doing so.
Meanwhile, fastest lap of the race so far has gone to Sean in 2nd. He was 2 tenths faster than Tay on the last lap.
And Super Bounty just drives his way past Havoc there as he comes out of turn 3. I'm not sure what happened with that one, but he managed to drive his way past him on the exits. They go down the straight, and Super Bounty is really going for it now, and he's trying to defend the inside. Havoc just seems to be struggling to overtake people in these wet conditions. As Marco and Rub's getting very close, and Marco nearly spinning there.
Meanwhile, both Racer Tay and Sean at the front are both setting purple sectors. But I think this fastest lap's going to go to Tay this time round.
What a move from Havoc, just kind of going around the outside at turn 6, and it was a phenomenal overtake from him, and he's managed to finally get out of Super Bounty. It looked like Bounty was going to try to fight back at it, but he's probably best opportunity just to sit down behind him, try to come back at him on the main straight.
Yeah, race to two is just setting new fastest lap, 32.6. Sean made a little bit of a mistake coming out of the final corner. That gap's just extended now to 2 seconds.
And I think Martin...
I was just about to say Ages got back up into third ahead of Ferraz.
There's Havoc trying on the outside into turn one. I was about to say I think Martin's had a bit of a wobble out the final corner because now he's got Super Bounty and Havoc all over the back of him. Havoc tried the outside and Super Bounty's found his way ahead of Havoc, and he's Super Bounty going to try and get both of them now. He's going to try to slide his way past Martin on the outside. They head up to turn three. Martin staying defensive. Martin is giving everything to stay ahead here, but is it enough? Martin's going to try to slip the inside. Havoc's going to try and get down the inside the stop. But Super Bounty might have just driven past there. He seems to just have the pace to drive past them on turn three. And Martin's lost out to both of them in the end. But a valiant effort.
That was very unlucky. I think it was just coming out of the corner there. Havoc just slide tap. Oh no, was that Ed?
Astro's gone in very deep there. I think he just missed his braking point, and Martin's off as well. So I think there was a bit of collision there between the Rod and Pollux drivers, and that's not good at all.
Oh, that's desperate.
And someone else. Sean's gone off somewhere. He's going slow into turn six. He's had a wobble, so because he's dropped down to fifth.
All of a sudden, that now allows Racer T a little bit of breathing space. He's now nearly 6 seconds clear.
Meanwhile, Havoc's still trying to find his way past Super Bounty, but it's still just not enough there.
Meanwhile, Grim is in fourth, and he's on the back of Ferro in third. And he's doing all right. He's doing all right. Oh, Ferro went wide there.
Yeah, well, I think happened as someone's gone off. Someone has gone very far off, and I think that is Rubs that's gone deep into the first corner there. So he's clearly struggled there. He was right at the back of Marco and Robert, but what I think happened between Astro and Martin, I think Astro was trying to go down the inside of Robot, missed his braking point and just slid straight on into Martin, who was unaware. I'm not sure if he did tap him, but
meanwhile Robot and Marco getting very, very friendly into turn three. Marco was almost trying to give Robot a kiss and a cuddle there.
Rubs is off again into turn three, and that's allowed Martin back into the top 10, and now Astro's got the run on him, so I think Astro's going to try and get down the inside on Rubs into turn three. It's where it went wrong on the last lap, but I think Astro's going to be a bit more cautious on this occasion as Rubs has gone in very deep and Rubs goes off, and that allows Astro up into 11th, but Marco in 9th place. Oh, Robot's off. Robot's gone off into the gravel at turn 6. I still have Mark up into 8th place from the back of the grid for Mark. And now Martin's going to try into turn 7. Is Martin going to get down the inside on Robot? No, he's not quite close enough. But can Robot even hold it on the track? He's clearly struggling at the moment. Martin does get ahead there. And now Astro might be able to find his way back up into the top 10 and into the points again for Rod and Pogs. Robot goes defensive. This time Astro's going to try around the outside into the penultimate corner. Has he done it? Is he kept it on the track? Yes, he has. And Astro gets ahead. So it's all gone unravelled for Robot there.
Meanwhile, up at the front, Tay's now gone 6 seconds clear of AJ, who is in turn 6 seconds ahead of Ferro. Grim's just snapping away at Ferro's heels, so he's not allowing him to get away too much. And also you got Sean there back in 5th. He's just going to have to stay patient and wait for his opportunities to come, because it won't be easy to overtake in the wet.
Yeah, Sean has managed to close right back after what we think is a mistake from him. So Sean's allowed to claw himself back up into 5th, right up behind Grim, but we'll see if he can get any closer to make the overtake. Meanwhile, Super Bounty and Havoc are still going at it, but Super Bounty's put a little bit of time between them, but nothing substantial, so Super Bounty's just edging Havoc at the moment.
Meanwhile, Marco in 8th, he's 3 seconds ahead of Martin. He's 7 seconds behind Havoc, and as I say that, he's just running wide. He's just running wide, but he's managed to save it.
Yeah,
it's allowed Martin just to gain a little bit of time back, and Ed's back into the top 10 as well. Astro's back in the top 10.
Yep. Oh, someone's gone wide there. It's Havoc has gone wide just out at turn 9.
And Jax has run wide as well out of turn 7.
So they're all really struggling in these conditions, but to be honest, I've only seen one person's gone fully round. A lot of them have been running wide and missing braking points, but not many of them have had a big spin, and as I say that, someone's had a wobble, and I think it was Sean, just out of turn 1, but now Bounty's actually closed right up on Sean, and to be honest, if Bounty can clear Sean, he's not a million miles away from Grim and Thomas, so there could be quite a fight going on for the podium here, as Havoc had a bit of a penalty as he was breaking into turn 3. But here he goes in the slipstream now of Super Bounty to try and close in, but he's lost a bit of time there. Super Bounty's trying to gain in on Sean as Sean's trying to claw back in, because Sean's clearly got the pace to take the fight to tail, but just a couple of mistakes seems to be costing him. Meanwhile, Astro's had a wobble coming out of turn 3, so that's going to maybe allow Robot to have the run on the straight, and he's very much getting in now, so Robot might be able to claw his way into the top 10. We're going to have a scrap for the final point position. Is Robot going to try and slide down the inside into turn 4? No, he does not, but has Astro gone in too deep? Yes, he has, and Robert drives past him on the exit as Astro's gone in far too deep into turn 4, and Astro's dropped back down to 11th place now.
Meanwhile, Sean's just closing back on the back of Grim here for 4th place. There's a little bit of stalemate just in this little pack. You've got Feroz, Grim, Sean, Bounty, Havoc, and also that's up to 7th place. So actually this could be a good little battle pack.
We'll see if anyone bottles it under the pressure, because it's going to be very difficult. I think that was Thomas who's run slightly wide, and he's on the grass just as fair. Is anyone going to crack under pressure? He ran wide at turn 1, ran across the grass, nearly spun like his teammate Tracy did earlier on, but I should just keep pointing the right way. That's allowed Grim up into 3rd, so Sean up into 4th, and now he's even dropped all the way down to 6th place as Super Bounty goes down the inside into turn 3, and now he's very close as Grim's ran wide out of turn 3, so now Sean for the podium, and Super Bounty's closed right in. So this has suddenly come alive out of nowhere with Super Bounty on the back now, and Sean side by side with Grim. Is Sean going to give him the space?
Touch.
Side by side, Grim's going to try hold it around the outside there, as Sean's rooted to defending that inside on the exit there.
Also, hello to Yuval Margalit.
Yes.
Hope you're well, and I hope F1 went well for you last night.
Here comes Bounty trying to find space past Grim on the outside there, but not quite close enough for him, so here we go then. This is all really coming alive now, and ideally if they don't want Sean to run away, they need to overtake Grim as quickly as possible, and Super Bounty might be in with a shot at the podium here.
He's ran a little bit wide there coming out of turn 8. Heading into turn 9 now. He's just dropping back off the back of Bounty a little bit here.
Now what is interesting is we are on lap 8, but the tyres really do not seem to be wearing. So it'll be interesting to see what we do see, if anything, with the strategy, if any of them pit in at all. Because the tyres seem to be lasting at the moment, and I think Astro says earlier that... Ooh.
Tyre ran a little bit wide coming out of turn 3 there.
Ooh.
But he's carried on. He's carried on without major incident of drama.
That's good. But yeah, so in terms of strategy, I think Astro is saying that he's likely might only have to pit for fuel and could probably go to the end on tyres. That will be interesting to see. With them all running intermediate tyres, it means they'll only be using intermediate tyres, because once you're on inters you cannot change onto slicks, so they won't see any different strategies in terms of tyres, but we'll see how it goes, and if anyone does choose to pit in.
I'll be interested to see if anyone here has been able to save fuel, because when you're driving in the wet like this, you probably have a little bit more tendency to short shift in this type of environment, because what you'll get, because Group 2 cars don't have any traction control, so therefore you're probably more likely to short shift in this sort of environment, just so you gain a little bit of traction. So I'm wondering if anyone might gain a bit of advantage this way when it comes to eventually fueling up for their stops.
Because I think there was a discussion going on that what you could possibly do is make like a makeshift traction control if you reduce the fuel map so that it's putting less power down when you choose to accelerate, which could help gripping out of the corners, which at the same time would also help with straight line, or it would help with fuel saving. So we'll see what the drivers are chosen to do, or if they're all just leaving on one and pushing it. His bounce has gone quickest of anyone in the first sector. He's looking like he's sending one down the inside of Grimm there, but he didn't quite commit, so I think he made contact and was trying to let Grimm continue, because here comes Havoc now, all over the back for 5th place. I think Havoc's going to try and find his way through, but he's not quite close enough just yet, but he's going to sit in the slipstream right on the rear bumper of Super Bounty. Is he going to go for it down the inside into turn 3? He definitely is, sending his nose and making his intentions clear. Bounty just gives him enough squeeze as they get all touchy-feely with each other as they go through, but Havoc is going to try and commit. He's still holding it there now as they go through turn 5 and onto the outside at turn 6. Is Havoc still there? No, he's not. So Super Bounty's just defended there, and brilliant racing between Bounty and Havoc as Bounty gets a bit wobbly. Havoc's down the inside, and I think Havoc's given Bounty just a little bit of a touch there as Havoc manages to slip down Bounty's inside, but Bounty's going to fight back. Yes, he does, but not quite enough just yet. And all that's allowed Ferro Tomas to be all over the back of him now.
Meanwhile, there's a bit of a battle going on for 9th place between Martin and Astro, the two Rob and Pollock's drivers. They've closed up. Robot's only about 3 seconds further back.
Super Bounty's in.
Robs has had another spin. Robs has had another spin coming out to turn 4, so that's a...
Oh, he's nearly going wrong again for us. He's really struggling. Now he has now been overtaken by Tracy spun early on. So Super Bounty's in the pits, and he's gone on to a fresh set of intermediate tyres and has put some fuel in. Not much fuel, but that might maybe be enough fuel to get to the end, because it is halfway through the race now, so maybe that is the strategy, just a simple one stop. I think someone's had a moment. I think that was Astro coming out of the first corner at a moment, because he's dropped right off the back of Martin there.
Meanwhile, there's now an inter-team battle for 7th place as well, with Bounty, Marco, and then you've got obviously Martin and Astro in 9th and 10th, although Astro has dropped just a little bit back from Martin. He's fallen into the clutches of Robot for 10th place.
Something's gone on, because Havoc's got damage. Havoc's got damage on the front end of the car and has dropped now behind Thomas as Red Tear comes into the pit. So Havoc down in 6th place at the moment, and with damage he's just going to be losing time. So I wonder if he's, by the looks of things, he's like he's gone off at turn 3, or at very least he's spun round on the exit of turn 3 and hit that wall, which has given him the damage. It has repaired itself now, but as it seems like this is about the strategy, it's pitting in. Grimm is staying out, as is Thomas. Havoc's coming into the pits. Super Bounty had already pitted, so we'll see, can Super Bounty get close to Sean, or maybe jump Havoc in the pit stops? So this has allowed Grimm back up into the top 3, I think, for the moment. Sean just coming out of the pits now, and so I think Grimm's going to be ahead to Sean. He's going to come out behind his teammate Thomas and Grimm, so that might cost him here. Where is Havoc? As Marco's in, as is Martin. And Super Bounty's come a long way ahead of Havoc. So Havoc has lost a lot of time. I think that damage that he picked up might have cost him, because he's lost a lot of time on that lap, and that has therefore meant that he's now 6 seconds behind Super Bounty. In fact, Astro's has got Robot all over the back of him.
And apparently Smalley has got a PS5, so we're being told.
Robot's got another moment off. Hang on a minute. Tracy's on softs.
No. Yes,
he is. Tracy's on soft tyres. I was sure he was on into start the race.
Same here. I'm hoping this has got to be a mistake, surely.
Rubs is in the pits as well, but I'm fairly certain Tracy was on inters at the start of this race. Thomas is in.
I'm gonna just watch Tracy for the next lap or so and just see how he gets on. I'm not expecting anything positive, but I'm just gonna keep an eye on this because it's either a ridiculous gamble or it's a mistake. My betting is a mistake.
So
yeah,
then,
he's made a mistake out of turn 4. It's going wrong already.
So then Thomas has now lost the place to Sean, who's come out just 1.4 seconds behind him, as Sean, who has already paid, and he's in the process of hunting down Grim, although there's a Rubs in the way being lapped, but I'm sure he'll get out soon enough. So Super Bounty's managed to hold that gap to Havoc. It's come down slightly, but Super Bounty's not come out as close to Thomas as Thomas has come out of the pits. He's not come as close to Thomas as I'm sure he would have liked, so we'll see what happens with that then. And I think it looks like it's just going to be the one pit stop to go to the end, and Sean has now lapped Rubs, and he's got 7.3 seconds to get in on Grim, who's sat in third place, and I'm sure he's going to be hoping the rest was over now.
Meanwhile, Tracy's having an absolute nightmare. He's just been lapped. He's trying to get back to the pit lane. It's gone wrong.
He's round again.
He's just sliding and spinning. This is not what he needed.
Yeah, so it seems to have gone very wrong for Tracy. Hopefully he could pit in and go back onto the intermediate tyres, so he might be able to stay facing in the right direction, but it's...
Grim's in.
Unfortunately, it's Grim, yep, in the pits. I'm assuming he's going to come out behind Sean and Thomas, and maybe Super Bounty. He might get ahead of Havoc, but we'll see. Of course, he's going to have less fuel to put in the pit stop than what the others did, because he had to put in less laps to get to the end, if you know what I mean.
No, he's come out.
But he has,
Super Bounty in 6th, sorry.
Astra Smurf is also in the pits, and I think Tracy's in as well, but it doesn't look good given the fact that he's not changing tyres, so I think he might be over for him. I think he's going to retire the car.
That's unlucky, That's unlucky.
Because Tracy's had a good run of races in recent times. He had a decent couple of results, but it's just unfortunate it's not come together for him in the rain of the Styrian Mountains here at the Red Bull Run.
Meanwhile, Taylor's just pulled away from AJ again. He's nearly 8 seconds clear of AJ, who's nearly 16 seconds clear of Sean in 3rd. As
Ted just sets in a fastest lap, and that gap just seems to be going up and up and up. We'll see what AJ does. AJ is about half a second a lap slower than what Tay's doing. So Tay's just in a field of his own at the moment.
It finally appears that Racer Tay has fixed his aimbot and is flying again.
Yeah. This is the Tay we know and love, as Super Bounty almost gets into a spin coming out the final corner. But it seems like we've gone back to the Tay that we used to know.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched these races earlier this season. He looked to be overdriving. Today he has not overdrove. He's driven a beautiful race today.
Oh, and yeah, Tracy is now out of the race. So I think he bailed into the pits and then left. So unfortunate for Tracy, but...
Meanwhile, there's a bit of a battle looking like it's starting to develop, possibly for 4th.
Although the
Ferro, Super Bounty and Grim as well.
Yeah, but Super Bounty has got Rubs in the way, but Rubs is letting off on the straights. That allows Bounty to get ahead. Lapping Rubs, so now Super Bounty can set his sights entirely on Thomas to see if he can get ahead, but we're very quickly moving in through this race. We're on lap 15 of 22, and it looks like Tay's just in a class of his own.
Yeah, just looking back through the field again, Marco's sitting in 8th. He's got 2.5 second gap back to Martin in 9th, who in turn's got a 6 second gap back to Astro in 10th, who's not a million miles in front of Robot in 11th. And then you've got Jax, who's over a minute behind Robot. But then again, it's just not been his day today.
So we've got Super Bounty, who's trying to just close the gap in on Thomas, and it looks like he's doing that so far.
Yeah, Sean just ran a little wide going into turn 1. He's got back together, but he's in a little bit of no man's land at the minute. 17 seconds away from AJ and 5 in front of his teammate Ferro, so he's just got to keep his concentration to the end now.
Yep, so Grim has got Havoc behind him, and interestingly, Havoc's teammate Rubs is the lapped car in front of Grim. So we'll see if Zenny's team order, but there you go, Rubs gets out of the way, but Havoc is within a second of him, and he seems to be closing in. He might just get a bit of slipstream as they go down the straight, and I'm sure Havoc's going to want to get past Rubs as soon as possible, and he does there on the straight, so Rubs making sure he's not trying to intervene in the battles too much. Ooh, Rubs getting a bit of a spin there.
It just seems to be, just at this stage of the race, everyone has just spaced out a little bit. Oh, that's a nice slide from Martin coming into turn 4. Held it beautifully just coming around that corner. Just so I'm going through the field.
So,
yeah, the closest battle on track I'd say is for 6th place between Grim and Havoc.
Yep, Havoc's getting very close as they head into the final 2 corners. Here we go then, into the final corner now. Who's going to get the better run on to the main straight? Havoc in the slipstream of Grim. So then, is it close enough then? He's all over the back, but is he going to be just close enough? I don't think he is. Not into turn 1 anyway, but his best bet is probably turn 3. He looks like he's pulled to the inside to try and find him. I think Grim ran a little bit wider than what Havoc did, but it's clearly allowed Grim the better line onto the straight, although a touch of grass I think he had there.
He ran wide.
And here comes Havoc now, trying to slide down the inside, side by side as they run up. Havoc on the inside, on the braking. Who's going to brake later? Is Havoc got what it takes to get down the inside? Grim's going to fight it on the outside, but Grim's ran off the track and wide.
Yeah, you've fortunately just hit the painted curves and there's no grip on them whatsoever.
Meanwhile, Super Bounty's managed to claw about a second to Thomas, so he's managed to get that gap down a bit. And I think Real Tracy's in the chat now is saying that the game wasn't letting him select inters. So when he pitted onto softs, he wasn't allowed to choose inters back again. So that was the reason for his retirement.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate. Unfortunately, you get days where it's just not your day. And it's not today, but just go on to the next race and just go on from there, mate.
Yeah, I believe the next race is at the Nürburgring. The GP circuit, not the Nordschleife.
Yes, it is the GP circuit. Unless it's the Enduro, where it is the full-blown Nordschleife.
Yep. Not looking forward to that one, to be honest.
That could be a bit interesting in a Group 3 car, I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, anyway, back to the race. We've got Super Bounty who's managed to get all of them back, just about half a second in behind Thomas. As Bounty says, the purple sector is very close under braking to the back of Thomas. I wonder if Bounty's just braking that a little bit later than Thomas, because he claws right and manages to not hit him, but that has allowed Thomas to get better run onto the straight. Bounty not fully rooted into the slipstream, he's trying to get in. Don't think he's getting in by enough to be able to slow down, and Thomas managed to hold it on, so Thomas loses the fight for another lap on this occasion in 4-4. That gets a bit of a wobble coming out onto turn 4 into 5, and I think Bounty tries to stay out of the spray, it's looking like, so we can actually see where the corner is, because if you're getting too close here and you can't really see what's in front of them. And Bounty gets a slide there in through turn 6 again. Not quite close enough to remove into 7, so it looks like Bounty's going to have to just settle himself down. He's going to have to just wait yet another lap as Thomas, never mind though, because Thomas had a huge wobble out of turn 8, and that's allowed Bounty on the outside into turn 9. Is he going to be ahead?
Contact!
I think Bounty just thought he was fully ahead of Thomas, but Thomas just had that little bit alongside him there. That meant that as Bounty moved across, I think to get to the inside line, I think he thought he was fully ahead of the car, and so wouldn't have had a problem coming across, but ended up just chipping his nose off.
Yeah, that was just a little bit unfortunate.
Luckily, though,
just chopped across at the wrong time, but like you said, you were about to say, I think, luckily it didn't cost any time or damage.
You know, they were both still continuing as normal. That could have ended disastrously, but it didn't. They are both heading forward for that one, but I think it was just one of those things. Meanwhile, Astro is behind Robot again, and it's not the first time we've said that this season.
Robot getting defensive. I've never heard of that one before.
Ah, well, with Astro behind him. Seems to happen pretty much all the time.
Yeah, there's a spar all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, robots with the defences like Fort Knox.
So then, and I don't think Astro's quite close enough. He's just over a second. Astro, I think he's really shook. He's dropping back even more. So I think he's just trying to get himself home to the end of the race now, because he does not look like he's quite as comfortable as some of the other drivers around here. But there is every chance Robot may end up making a colossal mistake and end up off the track. So then, here we go. Thomas, I think, has just dropped quite a bit back from bouncing. That's allowing Havoc to slowly close in on him now, as Havoc's going to attempt to go for 6. Havoc's had a pretty solid start to the season, and I'm sure he's going to look to have another fairly good result to the list, as he's coming up toward now just 1.5 seconds back, and he's slowly gaining in on Thomas. How I thought only 3 laps left, so he's going to be running out of time to see if he can get ahead.
It's going to be difficult, I think, to make a move now. I think all Farrell can do is just put pressure on Bounty and just see if he can force a mistake somewhere. Otherwise, in this condition, don't take too many risks and just bank points.
Oh, I think someone's had a spin on turn 1, and it is Rubs who's gone round, comes back onto the track with damage to the front of the car, and Smalley's stirring up the rumour mill again by saying he may be reserved for Gwen's boys.
Yeah, that came out of the blue all of a sudden today when I heard that. So yeah, that's a good one for Robot to pick up on. If anyone ever wants to invite Smalley into a chat, please be ready with Bleep Machine.
Yeah, you're going to have to give the man in charge of the Bleep Machine a raise when Smalley's with you.
And also a lot of overtime.
Yes.
The only intelligent thing Smalley does is lift heavy things.
Anyway, Havoc still seen about 1.5 seconds behind times. He's not really gained in too much on that last lap, because their last lap times were pretty similar. So it seems like maybe Thomas has just about managed to get what it takes to stay ahead of Havoc at the moment, although Thomas looks to be running very low on fuel with 2 laps to go. It'll be interesting, has he got enough fuel to get in, because he has got the blinking red light of doom, and I don't think anyone else has, so maybe Thomas could run out of fuel in this race.
No, Tay AJ have got it.
Right.
Tay and AJ have got it, so it's, to be honest, it'll be with 1 lap left. They'll just be managing now at the end. Yeah.
Although this has allowed Havoc to get very close onto the back of him. He's got way more fuel on him, so maybe Thomas has flicked it down into a lower fuel one, that's allowing Havoc to get a bit closer to him. And apparently Smalley's asking, when are you going to say the fact of the matter is?
When Smalley pays me 20 quid out of Mick's wallet.
The fact of the matter is, I don't think Ash is going to say it this race. Anyway, Havoc's on the back of Thomas then as they head into the final corner, so maybe Havoc's managed to cause right in now on Thomas, and Havoc might be able to get himself into the top 5 as they head onto this final lap. Into the first corner, is he going to go for it? No, not quite close enough. He's got this final lap now to try and get himself ahead of Havoc to take 5th place. He's got this 1 lap to do it. It's not going to be easy for him in the wet, but I'm sure Havoc's going to want to go for it.
Let's see if there's going to be any defence here from Farrell's. Plenty of defence.
Oh, there's an Astro sideways. As Resite comes round the penultimate corner now, and he's been absolutely on top form today. No one's been close to him this weekend, and unless he spins in this final corner, which he does not, race day comes around 16 seconds ahead of the next car. A dominant showing from in the rain, a wet weather masterclass. Race day picks his first win of the season. AJ is going to bring it home in second place as he comes round the final corner now with a couple of back markers between them, so I think that'll be Rubs and Astro that have finished the race already. But AJ rounds the final corner with second, and I'm sure he'll be happy with that one, considering he was complaining when he saw it was going to be a wet one. It's a shame for Sean, because what could have been if he hadn't have made those mistakes early on, because he was looking right on the back of Tay. So it is a shame, but in the end Sean comes round in third place.
Havoc just lost it up coming out of turn 8. He held the back end, but he was very, very close to spinning.
And round the final corner.
It's just allowed Farrell's a break in 5th.
Ooh, just very close on the line. Just a 10th splitting Thomas and Havoc, but it is Thomas in the end. Grim comes home in 7th, so a good race from him, scoring points. Marco in 8th place, it looks like, which I'm pretty sure he started last. So he's had a solid drive from him. He's kept it relatively clean and has managed to pick up points with him. So a good job from Marco there today. Martin comes around the final corner in 9th place. It'll be Robot picking up a point in 10th after seemingly every time we looked at him be battling one of the Rod and Pollux drivers.
Yep, he's just coming across the line now. That's
and
10th.
And Astro and Rubs out of the points in 11th and 12th, and only the one non-finisher in the form of Tracy. So there we have it. Race to tape, pole position and the fastest lap. Still not yet the triple star. Didn't get a clean race, the dirty driver. But there we have it then. That is indeed the Group 2 race around the Red Bull Ring. The next one will be the Group 3. So the next one will be the Group 3 race, which I believe will also be streamed, and I believe it is Astro making Grim on commentary for that one.
I believe so. I haven't heard anything to the contrary.
So, we'll see you then. The next race is at the Nürburgring, so we'll see you next time, and goodbye.